I was the first one who came to town. And then Frank and Nancy decided to move to Gainesville, bring their family with them and raise a family here in Gainesville. And I remember the first thing he did was he bought this office building. It was a pretty cool thing to do, is to renovate an old home. And one of the highlights of their living here was at Easter. And on Easter, they had almost a community Easter egg hunt, and it was pretty elaborate. I think there's a picture somewhere in the office of someone painted all of the children running around the yard and looking for Easter eggs. From that time, Frank basically adopted the town again as his home, and he has spent a lifetime of trying to improve the town. Nancy at his side, prodding him along to sort of step out of his self. Frank, believe it or not, is a fairly shy guy, and Nancy probably steered him in the direction to being a little bit more open and outward into the community.
So my parents have always tried to install a good work ethic in myself and my sisters. And so, with the family business, I think we were always involved in some aspect kind of growing up from a very young age. I think one of my earliest memories of such was in 2000 when Y2K was happening. My dad, the Norton agency was deciding to do their annual Christmas gift, which was a Y2K prep kit. And so you had myself, my sisters, all my cousins in the basement of the Norton agency putting together these prep kits. They were just bags of flashlight, matches, etc. And then once put together, we went out with my grandparents, Betty and Frank, to actually deliver them to their, various community members, organizations, etc. It just really kind of, from a very young age, we were always involved, always understanding that, you have to work hard to ultimately get to where you wanted to be. And that's really kind of carried through my perception of life, and hopefully, I can install that same kind of, mindset into, my son, as he kind of grows up.
As far as a banker, if I need information on some type of real estate project that's going on, or a question about a developer, Frank's always a source I can call on, and he can give me good information on what's happening in Northeast Georgia. Nancy, by serving on our bank board, has been very instrumental. She's more behind the scenes on the real estate market, but she keeps her pulse on what's going on really from Atlanta northward in Georgia. And as we look at different types of loan scenarios for our bank, she's been very instrumental in making us make the right decisions on different types of real estate loans that we do. Always has a good eye on what's happening in the whole northern part of the state, whether it be in Atlanta or in Gainesville. She kind of knows the market and has been very instrumental on that side of it. The two of them together work as a great team. They're both very much visionaries. With Nancy a little bit more quiet, Frank a little bit more outgoing, but they complement each other very well. I think, again, they're probably, I would normally say diamonds in the rough, but they're more diamonds. From the time I've known them, they have things that they're looking at doing for Gainesville and Northeast Georgia. Without their leadership and guidance, we wouldn't be where we are today.
One of the things I've always kind of loved and appreciated about my parents is their service to the community. They love Gainesville so much, and they give back with their time, their energy, and their resources on a wide range of issues. And, even as a child, I would see my parents run into this meeting or that meeting and volunteering for this parade or various things that I didn't even know what they were sometimes. But that was such an important part of us growing up and us watching them grow up, and it's something I've taken home with me now that I don't live in Gainesville anymore, but want to build those community roots and community support, ranging from things from Boy Scouts to hospital things to tutoring, and especially with everything that they've done with Junior Achievement is really a lifetime of service that they've given us a great example for.
It's been really cool to see them become grandparents. My husband and I moved back to Gainesville for the reason that my parents were here, and we knew life would be a lot easier with kids, with my parents, and it's been, I have 3 boys. There's 5 grandkids, 4 and under. To see them grow their relationship, teach my son new things. My dad loves to take Cooper in the car to drive. They have just this special bond, and it's really special to me to see them parent my kids and teach my kids the special things about life from an absolute point where they can spoil the bejesus out of them. And it doesn't matter. There's a whole lot of love there to share.
And now watching them as grandparents, they're doing a great job of being grandparents. Frank, I joke that I said, have you retired? Because he is oftentimes absent of the office, but he's present wherever he is. Now they have bought this farm, and I think they enjoy that as much as anything. They enjoy traveling, but the amount of time and the energy that he has spent here in Gainesville has been phenomenal. And my hat's off to him.
When I think of Frank and Nancy Norton, I think of them and their hobbies. For Nancy, she's a master gardener. I can't tell you how many orchids she's resurrected back to life that I've killed over the years. But that's what she does. She nurtures things back to health and back to life. And that's what she does in this community. Whether she's working with Junior Achievement and working at the Discovery Center or through the Pathway Project. She's been a mentor for over 20 years. And that's nurturing our youth and helping them grow in our community. And when I think of Frank, he's the same way. He's a self-proclaimed farmer. And he loves to get in the dirt, and he likes to plant seeds for his vegetables and his fruit, play with his grandchildren in the dirt. But he's also doing that in the community. He's planting seeds for the next generation. He's doing that through his housing projects. He's doing that by resurrecting an old church and turning it into an apartment building, taking an old apartment building and bringing it back to life. That can go well beyond their years and go beyond the community. And I think that's an amazing thing that the Nortons do, is they continue to nurture us in this community. And so I proclaim them the gardeners of Gainesville, the nurturers of North Georgia.
What's your favorite thing about Nanny?
Playing.
She likes to play with you. And what does Papa do with you?
Playing.
We just want to say thank you, Mom and Dad. You've been an inspiration to all of us, and you've shown us leadership in both the community and in a family, and we couldn't be prouder of you.